Hi everyone and welcome to Reality Check. Yes, although my biceps are pretty much there and I can do a mean Scottish accent, I am not your regular host Cameron Robinson, who mumbled something about going away to Barcelona before scuttling out of the office and handing me the reins of the show. Unfortunately, Cam isn't paying me $970 million for my troubles. Apparently, he just doesn't have that kind of money right now. But I'll tell you who does. Online retailer Amazon. And they just paid that vast sum to acquire the streaming service Twitch. Which made me wonder, why does Twitch work? Why do we like watching other people play games? Every month, 55 million people log on to Twitch to watch other people around the world play video games. Everything from StarCraft to Hearthstone to League of Legends has the potential to draw in thousands of viewers per stream. But why would anyone in their right mind choose to watch someone else play a game instead of, choosing to play it themselves? Well, that's like asking why do people watch football on the TV? Luckily, some curious psychologists investigated this and came up with the motivation scale for sport consumption, identifying key factors that led to sport spectator consumption behaviour. Things like the drama of the match, the aesthetics, and a feeling of achievement when your team does well help draw the viewers in. But there are human factors at play too. Cultural anthropologist Johann Huizinga used the gladiatorial games from Roman times as a framework for comparison. While only a select group of the population actually physically took part, the crowd would get a vicarious buzz just from watching. Much like I get when I watch people play Rise, Son of Rome. Just kidding. Anyway, they would feel like the gladiator was fighting on behalf of them, the spectators. Researchers Cheung and Huang then identified the 9 personas, no, not that kind of persona, of those who spectate online sports. I'm not going to go into all of them, but I'll chat a little bit about those who are most likely to tune in to Twitch streams more regularly. Let's start with the inspired. The game itself excites them, and watching a stream acts as a catalyst for them to play it themselves. So it's basically like when you follow a game for a while through preview and review, but you want to check out an extended stream of it before you take the plunge and buy it yourself. There's also the pupil, those who use streams as their own personal Mr. Miyagi and actually learn from them. Take pro League of Legends players for example. They often stream solo queue matches publicly during the day over Twitch and talk you through the tactics that they're using. There are also specific streamers like Day9 who play through games and offer hints and tips to those watching. As there's the chat box, it's easy for the viewer to interact with the streamer and ask questions, which is something you don't really get when you're watching Wimbledon or another traditional sport. The motivation scale for sport consumption identifies the drama of the game and the ability for the spectator to escape from the real world as things that will appeal to potential viewers. And that's exactly what draws in our next crowd, the entertained. They tune into streams for the drama, the emotion, to feel the game. Over 32 million people watched the League of Legends Championship Series World's Final back in October, and huge events like these are where you're likely to find the entertained. Are you not entertained? Well, that guy just got a pentakill, so yeah, guess I am. And finally, let's mash these two groups together, the commentator and the crowd. They tune in for the community aspect. The commentator is more the shoutcaster who both spectates and performs. These guys run through plays, give insight on players, and in doing so, shapes the viewing experience of the other spectators by providing context within the commentary. Then there's the crowd, drawn in by the social aspect of watching the games. These are the water cooler guys who spectate in a group and chat about it afterwards. Well, I guess the Twitch equivalent would be the chat guys who frequent forums. Either way, it's adding a whole new level of social interaction than simply just viewing a game. Live streaming isn't just about esports though. Plenty of everyday people like to stream and share their gaming experiences online. But why do we like to share? Well, it all boils down to your idea of self-image, the best version of you that you can easily control and unleash upon the world via your social media. And when it comes to video games, that ideal you crops up in more places than you'd think. Like leaderboards. What better way to show the world how amazing we are than to dominate the top of a scrolling list of names and numbers? But what is it about leaderboards that make us hammer the restart checkpoint button to get that high score? Well, we are social creatures. From our time spent monkeying around in trees to the present day, we like being part of a group. Leon Festinger devised the social comparison theory back in the 50s, suggesting that we have an innate desire to evaluate ourselves but we're not exactly sure about how to go about doing it. So we compare ourselves to those around us in order to assess ourselves. But we are slightly biased when it comes to who we compare ourselves to. If we compare our gaming chops to someone whose skill levels vastly outweigh ours, then our self-esteem is going to take a hit. Which is why leaderboards are more effective when you're up against people who are similar to you. Like your friends. Which is why things like friends-only leaderboards, the Ghost Rider from Trials, and despite the daft name, Drivatars work so well. If our friends can do it, then we believe that we can do it, because we think we have the same skill set because we're similar in other regards. So that's why we strive for supremacy on online leaderboards, but why do we post about games on our social networks? Well, take a look at the popularity of Facebook games like Farmville and Mafia Wars. While the addictive gameplay of these titles has been investigated, new research suggests that there's more at work when it comes to explaining why people play. Yes, those "will you give me an extra life" and "will you water my crops" notifications are annoying for those of us who don't partake, so why do people post them in the first place? In-game rewards aside, researchers at the Michigan State University conducted a study which suggests that people use these social network games not to intentionally make new social connections, but rather to maintain and enhance the ones they already have. Using the game as the soil for the conversation, it allows a safe, warm and damp base for the relationship to flourish, so the recipients can harvest some sweet friend fruit. Wait, I got way too deep into the Farmville scenario, but you get what I mean. So that's all for this week. Why do you feel the need to share? Let me know in the comments below. We're on something of a Twitch kick at the moment. While we were at Gamescom a couple of weeks ago, Cam called into the LCS to ask some pro League of Legends players if playing live in front of thousands or streaming live in front of millions affected their gameplay. Tune in next week to watch a bronzed Cam try to answer that question. You can catch me on Twitter at LucyJamesGames. Thanks for watching, science friends. We'll see you next time.